to fall no more. Ambazonia rise.
Dear Ambazonians on the home front and diaspora.
Dear Ambazonia freedom fighters in the home front and in the diaspora.
The Ethics Commission of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is coming out to alert you that it is becoming more and more evident that the former British Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonians, will soon emerge as the newest nation in the world.
We are calling on all of us to start preparing to receive Ambazonia as parents prepare to receive their firstborn child. Malcolm X said, tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. We are already very educated, talented, and very rich in natural resources. Do all this guarantee a safe and prosperous Ambazonia? The answer is an emphatic no. Theodore Roosevelt said, to educate a person in the mind but not in morals is to educate a menace in society.
Ambazonians, it is time to start planning to restore our cultural and social values that characterize us as a people of good repute. Before our Republic to Cameroon invasion, we were respectful of each other, of the law, and of our culture. We earned our living through honest hard work, making clean money for ourselves.
Our values helped us to maximize the benefits of our natural resources as well as our human resources. Southern Cameroons were serene and clean, simply beautiful in spirit and in the physical. We all long for such a place to call home, and we can make it happen by God's grace.
Our local government areas and counties, are you preparing? Do you have an ethics commission in your local government areas, counties to serve as a moral compass for you? Do you have a copy of the Ambazonia Ethics Code and the Constitution?
All arms of government, do you have an ethics agency? Departments of DSS, HSS, Communications and IT, Education, DHACM, DFA and DEINR. Do you have ethics agency to serve as a moral compass for your departments?
Ambazonians, you need to know your rights by reading the Ethics Code and the Constitution.
Shame unethical behavior and reward good behavior in your communities. Hold leaders accountable. Be the watchdog of your communities and governments. See something, say something.
The church, you are the main research center of moral principles with the responsibility of moralizing the society. How effective are you outside the church building?
Maya Angelou said, when you know better, then you do better. Ambazonians, watch Ethics for an Emerging Ambazonia every Friday at 10 p.m. Amba time.
Exclusively on ABC Amba TV. Stay tuned.
Intellectually, politically, and economically insignificant Africa. But is that really true? Now, here are the facts. Africa has a total area space larger than all of Europe, China, and the United States of America combined. Yes, it is 3 times the area of China, 3 times the area of Europe, 3 times the area of United States of America. Meaning, you can transplant China, Europe, and United States, and several other countries on the Africa continent, and they will fit neatly. Africa is 30.5 million square kilometers and a youthful population of 1.3 billion inhabitants. China is 9.6 million square kilometers and 1.4 billion inhabitants. India has a total space of 3.3 million square kilometers and 1.4 billion inhabitants. Now, yet, Africa is projected as overpopulated, and pressure mounts on Africans and their leaders to depopulate. Why? Why? Now, please note, Africa is home to 60% of the world's arable land, 90% of raw material reserve, 40% of gold reserve, 33% of diamond reserve, 95% of platinum reserve, and holds the largest bauxite reserves in the world. Of course, in addition to manganese, woods, uranium, crude oil, and others. Yet, the continent is touted as the poverty capital of the world and ripe for depopulation. The question is, why? Well, President Jacques Chirac of France provides an illuminating insight. He said, "We bled Africa for 4.5 centuries. We looted their raw materials, then we told lies that the Africans are good for nothing. In the name of religion, we destroyed their culture. And after being made rich at their expense, we now
not be learning while we get to Buea. We learn from now and we hit Buea running with high values to make our nation prosperous." So my colleague, Dr. Titanta has come on. So let's reverse a bit, my Dr. Titanta, can you introduce yourself, please?
Good evening, fellow Ambazonian. Good evening, our Iron Lady, SOS, for the Department of Treasury, and welcome. It's a pleasure to you tonight, and I'm pretty sure Ambazonians will be very happy to hear you tonight. So, as my humble comrade was saying, it's very important that we take this issue of ethics very important in the stage of restoring our nationhood, because we don't want to make the errors that nations just concentrated on fighting to get a nation without first of all getting the moral aspect correct. And that's why they found themselves in trouble when they eventually had their country. So we want that the morals of our people be on the right place when we are at Buea, so that certain things that we see certain countries going through, we will avoid them. So I'm very happy to be in this program again tonight. It's always a pleasure, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Is it my turn?
Yes, my Irene.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very honored to be here. Ma Vicky is at work and she will join us. I happen to be lucky that I work remotely today, so I'm flexible, but she's coming. Of course, I'm so honored to be here with both of you. And my name, of course, is Mai Ringwa. I am the Secretary of State for the National Treasury. My colleague, Ma Vicky, my friend and my partner, she's also the board chair lady of the National Treasury, and she doubled roles also as a financial secretary. As you know, there's not many people to work, so most of us are doing like dual roles in this struggle right now. Yeah, so I'm very honored to be here, and I think this is a much, much better time, especially during this draft, that our people get to know a little bit about their finances. Maybe it would help them to put their mind at ease with some of the nonsense they've been hearing from all of these coup plotters. So that's what I'm here, and I'm very excited to be here.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Titanta and my Iringwa, our Iron Lady. So now we start with the outlay of the program for those of you watching us. We usually start with a monologue, which is why we are doing this program and the programs we've done before and where we are going to, and then we would have our. There are two parts of it. You know, ethics during this time of war or during the restoration phase, and then ethics when we arrive Buea, because they are slightly different things. And then my Irene would be explaining us, be educating us, and especially those who even come up and constantly criticize us, even though they have never contributed a franc. Yeah. So what they are doing ethically with the money we are freely donating to restore our independence, and then maybe answer some questions from us too, and then that's it. Then we close the program with a few questions that we usually ask all our guests who come. So let me start with the monologue why we are doing this program. Ambazonia Liberation Movement. Well, this movement is the restoration process of our independence. It's very unique compared to other revolutions in the world, because the institutions of an ethics commission during this war, our forefathers had the foresight of the uphill battle we face to repair the destroyed moral fabric of Ambazonia. What holds a nation together is the moral values. La République du Cameroon invasion and occupation of Ambazonia has taken a moral toll on Ambazonia, making moralizing Ambazonia again a battle we must fight to win. The assault on our morality began when La République du Cameroon took civics from our school curriculum. The importance of ethics in a nation cannot be emphasized enough. This is the right time for ethics awareness campaigns in all tiers of government and community in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Edmund Burke said, "Liberty does not exist in the absence of morality." Ethics for an Emerging Nation is an educational program to help with the information and tools we need to moralize our communities and government. We have so far discussed the following topics in the recent past. Template forms for complaints, forms for conflict of interest, appeals, financial conflict of interest disclosure forms. Other programs are ethical leadership and its importance, guidance for receiving and giving gifts by government employees, misuse of position, the role of people in upholding ethical standards in a nation, the role of the church in moralizing the society, standard code of conduct for Ambazonians, business ethics, media ethics, sports and cultural ethics, medical and public health ethics. Ambazonians, we encourage all of us to watch these past shows again on ABC, Facebook, and YouTube, and use the information to moralize your community and government. If by this time next year our sovereignty is not yet gained, you would be invited to give an update on your ethics and awareness program in your LGAs and counties. When we are done with all the awareness program in the counties, as we've done already, we are continuing now with the departments. We have done the Department of Women's Services, Education, Human Resources, DSS, Foreign Affairs, and today we are dealing with the National Treasury, and next week we will be dealing with finance and resource mobilization. Ambazonia shall be great again for God's grace and mercy. We will be fulfilling lives in our nations. Ethics is the key. So that's one of the reasons, that is the reason or the reasons we are running these programs. So at this stage, I would briefly go to my to our comrade Titanta to give his own view or some educate us on how to deal with financial ethics during this time of war or restoration. Dr. Titanta.
Yes. Thank you very much, Comrade Peter Tansi. I would add to the monologue by saying here that the War of Liberation of Ambazonia is very similar to the march of the people of Israel into their promised land. While they were in the wilderness, God appeared to their leader, Moses, and gave him 10 commandments, which to me is like the ethics code for the nation. And God insisted to them that if you keep these ethical values, you will be a people above every other people on earth. So it's not a mistake that our leaders had the vision to incorporate an ethics department during the restoration quest. And I would like to just read that scripture in the Bible where in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, the first few verses say, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God shall set thee high above all nations on earth." So this for me is, we must, as Ambazonian people, must take this ethics thing very serious. If we falter with this, then the foundation of nation is already broken before we start. Now, going further to talk about finance. Finance is at the core of our restoration quest. We need money. And throughout this, the problem we've had during this revolution are all linked to ethical issues. If we think like from the time of the former government, Sisiku, financial crisis, think about Tabinyan, and then the recent maneuver within this our current interim government to bring it down. All the allegations were all centered around finance. So it is a very important thing that we talk about the ethics within the treasury of Ambazonia. So even you can also remember the history of Metuge and the others. So it is very important. So for me, I would start by just asking this SOS some few questions. How do you see, how important is your department taking the issue of ethics? In other words, do you have an awareness that ethics is a fundamental thing we need to function on? What have the department learned from the mistakes of the previous mistakes, and what are in place to try to avoid the problem that we used to see? So that is a question that I would love the Secretary of State to address for us today.
Doc, thank you so much. Mom Vicky is locking in. You couldn't have been asking any better person this question than me, because I've been there from day one. I've been there when this treasury was being created. I've been there from names that you might not even remember. Helena Konji, I'm sure you've heard that name at some point. So I've been there from Roland Emene. So those are some of the names that people don't even know were there. That's where money was being channeled, $15,000 a month to Milan Atan's bank account in South Africa. So I've been around. So I can tell you a little more history. So this is so important. And I think that some of the steps that our president, Dr. Sako, has put in place now, if we had them back then, or had we taken the issue of ethics seriously, I'm not sure whether we could have avoided some of this, or we could have actually done entirely without these things. So the issue of ethics, I do work for corporate America, where on a weekly basis, I have to sign a form to say I did not receive a gift. Because in my company, you cannot take a gift more than $25. Even if you take a gift as little as a cent, you will have to declare that. So that's one of the things that I'm using some of those lessons I bring from corporate America to apply them into Ambazonia National Treasury. Because I do travel for work a lot and have a credit card with unlimited amount of money to spend. But one of those things is I have guidelines on how to spend this money. I have guidelines on how much I need to entertain a guest when I travel for business. And when I come back, I need to submit expense reports, right? That way, I can be audited anytime. Just so you know, I was reported by the coup plotters. Actually called my company and reported me and said I was misusing my company's benefits. Happy to let them know I was actually audited on a job that I've been for 27 years and I had no ethical violations. So ethics is very, very important because I come from a business, from an industry where it's centerpiece for everything we do when it comes to our customers, when it comes to our people. So Ambazonians that are giving us money, especially as we fund this war from our pockets, from a few individuals, it is so important that we, myself, Maviki, and the 13 other treasurers, so it is important to know that there are 13 other treasurers. Every county in Ambazonia has a member from that county in the National Treasury. What are we doing differently that was not done before? Because when we came after the so-called my trip to Boya and all the money that was done, and I would love to share the executive summary of that money from there because people just can talk. I prepared all those reports from my side of the town, and I actually gave a financial summary because after every project is done, you're supposed to give an executive summary, which I prepared one in detail. That's the only thing that the National Audit Committee had to work on because Tamiya never kept any records. So they used the executive summary that I prepared to conclude my project to help with their audit. What have we done? What have we put in place? So when we came back from Berlin, after we had the Berlin conference, the president wanted an audit committee in place round. He wanted the financial controller, and he wanted those people to be people that come from all the counties of Amazonia, that those people are sent by their counties, not him picking them. So when you hear all this noise about Dr. Sakoha's hand clappers, you start wondering where are these hand clappers coming from, right? Because everybody that, for example, in our National Treasury, they sent there by their representatives. Some of those coup plotters, half of them are gone because they became coup plotters. So that is exactly one of the things I want to talk about. When it comes to what do we do business today? One of the things that Ma Vicky and I have changed, we did not know that Richard Tango was actually helping his name is not Richard Tango, his name is Richard Fayengo, as you will see on the court documents, which we are about to show the court documents here. We did not know that he was actually helping his brother. So he dodged presenting the financial reports as required by his term of reference. My term of reference says, we're supposed to prepare a financial report every quarter, like we do in our corporate world, to let the people know how much of their money came in, how much was spent, what do you have? Do you have a negative? Do you have a positive balance? Those are some of the things that we're required to do. All the the treasurers that are in the treasury, they're not supposed to come there. For over 2 years, all of them came there. None of them saw a financial report from Ambazonia. And I'm challenging those that are there now. Please ask your county treasurers, have you seen the financial report? For 2 years, Richard just played around, would not share anything with anyone, including me, his deputy. Start avoiding the president. When the president would call and ask for this information, he started making excuses. So what we have done, what am I coming here and what are my changes that I'm trying to implement here? Number one, we want to make sure that treasurers of every county, at the end of every quarter, once we get everything settled in, we are giving you a report to take to your county. Your county needs to know, high level, this is how much money is coming in on a monthly basis, and these are the bills that we're paying. We also want them to know that this is how much, because we're about to launch 8, which we'll talk about that when Ma Vicky comes. Ma Vicky sits down every night after every draft to go through every money that came in and credit it to the counties. So when they say Dr. Sapos took money, you start asking, took money from where? Because every local government has its own account in the National Treasury. I come from Mogamo local government. The chairman of Momo cannot call the National Treasury and ask us of how much money Mogamo people have in their bank account. It can never happen. Because every local government has its own accounts. We have a financial secretariat that Ma Vicky manages. So Ma Vicky goes every month and credits to every local government how much money has come into their coffers. It's a lot of work, but we try. So that is how the money is being spent. Do I have the checkbook? Nope, I do not see the checkbook of Ambazonia people's money. Does Ma Victorine see the checkbook? Nope, Ma Victorine does not see the checkbook of Ambazonia people's money. Does the president even have access to the bank account? No, he does not have access to the bank accounts of Ambazonia. We have two payees, is that how we call them, that actually pay bills for Ambazonia, right? So when a requisition is generated, it depends if it's coming from a county. The generated requisition depends on how much money they want. It goes to the vice president or the president to sign. It comes to me to sign. It goes to Ma Victorine to sign. So you see, so it's not one person signing money. It's not the president signing a requisition, then sending it to the treasurer. No. So when it goes through all our checks and balances, we're not just signing. If you're a county, where are you taking this money for? We've got to know what the funds are going to be used for, because the funds belong to the people of that county. They do not belong to you. I can be very bold here tonight and tell you some of the chairmen that signed money from their counties and took their money. But when we started issuing red flag, I've been called by people from Menchum. Somebody called me and said, yeah, you called me that. I said, I cursed you. Yes, I did. You signed money that did not belong to you. So that's why when you see us during draft, and we are very strict, Nijo and I and Ma Vicky, one of the things that we do during drafts, we've learned a lot. We will not put money in anybody's bank account. If a county does not have bank accounts that are in the name of the county, we are sending that money to the National Treasury. We're not going to make those mistakes again. So that's one of the things that we do. So the president doesn't have access. He doesn't even know how the checkbook looks like. Nor do I. Nor does Maviki. Okay? We have two payers that stay in two different states. So it's not like they can meet together. They don't even know each other to say, oh, okay, let's do this. But we check, Maviki stays on top of it to check the balances. What are we doing different? We're not going to make that mistake that Richard Tango, we trusted him. Don't trust anybody in Ambazonia anymore. Everybody's a potential devil until you know them. So we trusted Richard Tango because we've been there for a very long time together. And we knew, Maviki and I knew we were working with a colleague. But something in me just kept telling me. So when we brought somebody to help us, a sister of ours to help us see how we can fund the war, she actually paid legal fees using her own money. Came into the National Treasury, presented it to us. We thought it was good. Guess what? We did not know at the time. Richard Tango called her in the back and said, why don't you give this plan to Choyaba? Tango, if you're hearing me now, if you think I'm lying, you can come and fight me because I'm so ready for it. So those are some of those things. So now, Maviki and myself, when we put this money together, Maviki sent it to all the treasurers of the different county. Momo treasurer has all the spreadsheets for the money. Mogamo, Menemo, Njikwa, Ngi, and Widikum. She has it. Does she have access to that money? No. Because in our financial institution secretariat, all the 61 local government financial secretaries are there. And we are asking them, can you please report how much money came in, how much was spent? So, number one thing that we are not going to make that mistake is to let people just come and sit for 2 years like they did with Richard Tango, and he never shared them. How much money came in, how much money left. So that's how he managed, him and Abongwa, to siphon 6 months of our CID. They did. So we are not going to make that mistake to have anyone have any email in their name anymore. One of the things that the president tried to do is to have you sign that, what do you call it? Because all of us are volunteering, we're using our personal information. He requires that as soon as you do something for Ambazonia, sign it to say, yes, this laptop was bought in Ma Irene's name, but it belonged to the people of Ambazonia. So we have learned, if we see any email, like now we are creating the new national payment platforms, we will not have an email that has anybody's name. We will not have one person with sole master admin like John Ingyawan had. And don't ask us how John Ingyawan had. Abongwa had been planning this coup d'etat for a very long time because we've been working with devils, but we did not know. So he managed to sneak John Ingyawan and gave him, if you remember, Doc, I came to the Restoration Council, I complained. He managed to sneak John Ingyawan there. I complain about it. People don't like me, and nobody has to like me. I am here to work for the people of Ambazonia. I'm not here to be liked by anyone. You really don't have to like me because I'm a daughter of God. So long I'm doing right by my people and by God.
Amen.
So Abongwa managed to say that we needed somebody who can help us to prepare information. And John Ingyawan could do that. Not knowing that he was sneaking to give John Ingyawan back-end access to our CID. So that is one of those things that we are going to avoid. Number two, if you're not actively involved in your local government, like Blessed Chair, who came from Barefoot, but of course we had to work together since the days of Ayok Tabe. One of the things that people don't know about Dr. Sako is that he was not replacing people. He knew that we're all working to go home. So long as you had the good faith, he just knew we were working together because we had one journey going to Boya, not knowing that some people were going to La République du Cameroon. So Blessed Chair, who sat on our money, is the junior brother to Cornelius, who is in jail with Ayok Tabe. The house that Blessed Chair lives in California belongs to the guy in jail. Okay? But Bless had excuses of not coming to the meetings because he has younger kids. So we just assumed that that was one of the reasons he was not coming. So that's one of the red flags to us now. If you're not going to your local governments, if you're not going to your county meetings, we don't make sure we see you around money anyhow. That's not going to happen anymore for us. We are not going to have one person in control. Dr. Sako trusted us to do our jobs like he is doing his job, and trusted his vice president to do his job. But what he did not know was that he had a vice president that came from ADF. Once anybody come from ADF, not trust them, because they go become ADF again and bring back those tendencies. Never knew that this is what this man was doing. So that's how he managed to siphon money. But I want to make sure you all know some good news today. Our money was not taken out because we were on top of our game. We were not that stupid like they thought we were stupid. Mark Vicky says, sis, I said, don't sis me, sis. There's something wrong. So all of us were on it. We're not talking about it because we're in court. These criminals were all in court, from Chris Anu to Richard Tango to Bless Che to John Nyawan to Abongwa to the Mariantas, the thieves of the world. They were in court, and I will forward that information to you all. They did not take our money. Frida Ashu is from Manyo. You will not think that a woman, knowing that her children are dying, could have tried to do what they did. So we have rules. When we realized that Richard Tango started disobeying the president, we wrote a requisition to take care of kids that were dying. He wouldn't pay it. Started making excuses. We knew something was wrong. We, the board members, decided to call an emergency meeting. When we called an emergency meeting, guess what? Richard Tango was so busy calling people not to attend the meeting. We did have a treasury board meeting. We did have a quorum. I have been in this treasury from the day of its inception, and we have removed people from the board. We removed Helena Konji. We removed Tabenyang. Tabenyang and Konji, we had a guy that I will not call his name, who was our financial secretary. When they saw that he was trying to know what they were doing, they started questioning him. Tabenyang removed him. So when we had our meeting, we saw that Richard Tango said he was starting to take orders from the Restoration Council. We decided to have a vote, and we removed him legally with a vote and changed Mark Vicky, and we voted for a new chair, our board chair, Mark Vicky, who's the most competent, trustworthy woman in Ambazonia. And we moved ahead with our business. Guess what? Richard Tango went now, created a new board with the Jackson Omekas, Uncle B's. What do you think they're all making this much noise? Because now they are the new board members of the newly created Ambazonia, whatever they're thinking they have. But we, as soon as we realized what was happening, we went to the bank. That's why Frida will be locked up for over 20 years for wire fraud. Because Mark Vicky, after our board meeting, we took her as a payee, took her name off, took Richard Tango off. Frida, like again, went to the bank. She went and lied to the police that she lost her documents, got new ID cards, went to the bank, Chase Bank, and said, oh, whatever she did, after Mark Vicky had gone, changed everything we had, minutes from our board meeting, everything from Ambazonia Foundation. How she managed it, took our money. But the day we were so busy drafting to support our people that were dying, Frida managed to go and lifted $75,000, money that belonged to the LGAs. The good thing is she did not walk out of that bank with the money. As dumb as she is, she opened a bank account in the bank. So the money is frozen. I heard some lunatics say, oh, we have possession of the money. Oh, we have taken everything under control. Lies. Why do you all think they're falling apart? Because they knew they had money. Money they did not contribute a dime. So now those accounts are frozen. They are not allowed to touch a dime. But our account that was in Europe, Tango managed to remove Vicky from having access. I was his deputy secretary, wouldn't even give me access because Richard really knows me when it comes to money. So he removed Vicky, only had Bless. That's how you know that this man was a devil. We had so many snakes in this house. So that's how you see them fighting now because Marianta has $20,000 of our money sitting in her bank account. Okay, and then you had some activists, I heard them fighting. And I heard somebody say they sent $20,000 to some other activist bank account. So Ambazonia people, they will have their day in court because we took precautions to make sure your money was not misused by thieves. Have I answered that question?
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Fellow Ambazonians, please log in, come online because this is really revealing night. It is a great night, and I thank God for people like our SOS who is here with us tonight. You see how the devil wanted to take up because they knew the people like this are in the revolution. So God care of. People like this it's echoing.
Wow.
Yeah, just a follow up from what I got here, because a lot of things have been said here and a lot of things, and it's like you are walking in line with actually, when I heard you talk about in the past, there used to be the problem of trusting people. And I remember in our last meeting, it was one of the things we discussed, that we should not be trusting people, but we should be trusting the institutions of our nation. If we should make sure that we focus on and that's the purpose of ethics. Ethics is what? Laying down rules that govern the society and make sure that every citizen of society, even the people governing the society, abide by those rules, not abiding by some paying allegiance to people. So this is very important for me to hear that statement, for us to hear that statement tonight, that there was that mistake of trusting people, which has been corrected. We are so glad. Ambazonia is so grateful for that realization. Another thing you mentioned was the fact that the board of the Treasury is constituted by representatives for various counties. And you also mentioned something that you don't want to see people sitting in the board that are not active in their counties. That was a question I had in my mind to ask. How are you going to be sure that the people who have been sent from their counties are really ethical? What are you doing to check their ethical values to see that they are in line? So that somehow answered, but you may throw more light on this.
You know now, I call myself FBI. I do my own FBI work in the back. We do a lot of talking to other people. We call the county chair. I can tell you this. There was a time the chairperson of Donga Manchum needed money for something. He said, can you just transfer it from my county? I said, do your county know you're transferring $1,000 to this? He said, no, it's just county money. Guess what? I said, okay. I transferred the money, but I made sure I called the people of Donga to say, your chairperson just transferred $1,000 from your county money. So please, when you call him, don't say somebody said. Anything I tell you something, don't say somebody, just say Myron said. Because anything I'm going to say, I'll validate it. Right? So now, we've had somebody who have not shown up for our meetings like 2 or 3 times. We're following up with the county. Hey, we've not seen this person. Are they sick? We will not make that mistake. Can you imagine Blessed Chair, who had not shown up for a Treasury Board meeting? And I kept asking Richard Tango, as the Secretary of State, life is not going to be the same anymore. I'm a tough sheriff in town. Take me or leave me. You don't have to like me, so long as I'm doing what is good for Ambazonia. I kept asking Richard Tango, why does somebody have a checkbook who does not attend meetings, Who does not pay drafts? Why is he having our check meetings? You have to be financially vested in this struggle to be part of this national treasury. You will not be part of this national treasury if you're not paying your drafts or if you're not paying your aid when we launch. We will call your county and say it, because that's one of the things that we're going to check. You have to lead by example. Why do you want to come and manage money you don't contribute to? When people steal from this struggle, all of these people that stole, they were not financially vested in that struggle. Because if they're financially vested and they're paying, they wouldn't be able to steal from themselves, right? So that's one of those things. Number one, we are coming to your county and making sure, are you paying your aid, which is what is replacing CID? Have you drafted? So that's why when you and I come to draft your county, we are checking, number one, to see if you are a member of your executive, have you paid your own draft? As you hear the president say, if you don't pay draft, how are you going to go ask others to pay draft, right? So if you're going to be in this national treasury, we contribute from our own pockets every draft to support every county. It's not a lot, it's a little bit, but it's to show that we know the need for money. We are also not here to manage money. We are also here to pay draft through my LGA, through my county, and still through the national treasury. So we want to make sure that we see a financial investment. So that is the number one thing that we are going to make sure we are checking.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Okay.
Just
go on, Doctor.
Yes.
Pastor Commando is here, so I thought that was the one.
Oh, okay. Let him just come in, then we can more questions can come up later.
Let me just announce this. Welcome, Pastor Commando, televiewers, those on Facebook and YouTube. Our anchor person has arrived, so just to announce his presence. My Irene, in fact, I think this word, we can sleep here the whole day. It's one of the greatest program we've had to educate ourselves how you are doing to block those loopholes, especially learning from the past and then going forward. What I can learn is you're blocking single point of failures. Not somebody should not be a single point of failure, single point where you can steal, and revising a lot of things. I don't know, maybe I have a question, but let the anchor man talk a bit first before I start asking.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, Dr. Titanta. Ma Irene, hooray!
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Pastor.
I have followed everything from the beginning when you started talking, and you are falling in line with the ethical setup of this interim government to make sure that as we get to Buea, we are not going to start building new structures where people will be looking very strange. So we have, I have actually heard the perspectives that the National Treasury has put in place. And I want to thank my colleague, Comrade Peter, who actually read out the monologue and explained a few things. And Dr. Titanta was there to share the general view of what the Ethics Commission is all about. And they also outlined to you all the 13 counties that have gone through these particular programs. And then they've gone now to different departments. And today is National Treasury. And you are here and you have spoken to the Ambazonian people, because this is the live wire of why we are actually in this fight. And if the loopholes are not locked, we are in for more trouble. And we are very, very grateful. Some people sit out there and they criticize. They say, oh, these people are so fragmented. They are fighting among themselves. No, what you are doing is very ethical, because there are evidences to prove that these people actually could not have been stealing from themselves if they were doing what they're supposed to do for the people of Ambazonia. And the quote that Ambazonia is going to go back is the tip of the iceberg I experienced in the late 60s when my eyes were beginning to open, when La Republique was almost trying to get in and then do what it can do. Now, I will pause here. I was just to say here that Dr. Titanta and my uncle comrade, they have asked you some few questions, and Peter was about to ask you a question. And now I hand over to Peter to go ahead and ask the question before we continue. But I want to, first of all, thank you so much for the exposition that you have done. That is exactly what we need to know about what is going on with our national treasury. I will come in with my questions because, like Comrade Peter said, I don't know whether it's Dr. Titanta or Comrade Peter, that this thing is so sweet that we are almost going to sleep here. And I agree with them. So over to you, Comrade Peter, to go ahead with your question.
Yeah, just one question, my Irene. I really like the setup now, but there is one thing I want to. Some counties are still running their account, so it's like the treasury is not as centralized as we want it to be. All money come in and then it goes out. Some counties or LGAs are still running their own treasury, in a sense, still running their accounts. How and in the past, some of this money has gone away because some of these treasurers, they just bought away with the money. They just go away and they just steal the money. Or they are still there, but they don't really, how do they account at national level how they are spending the money they are collecting and keeping locally? Or how do we stop that? Yeah, sorry.
I will talk for my local government. I come from Ogamo local government. I'm very proud to say we still manage our own financial affairs. We are a 501c3 organization. We have the best treasurer in this business. We do get monthly statements from our treasurer of financial house to let all of us know how much money we have. We do have our chairperson in the name of Barrister Ghana that will periodically, maybe every month, other month or 3 months, call us to let us know this is how much money Mogam people have contributed. This is how much money they have spent. And he'll give us a breakdown of what the money was spent on. So we don't have a problem when people run their own finances. Remember that the money that is in the National Treasury is not used by us. The money is used by the chair people of these counties. We are still telling every person, instead of sitting out there and complaining, oh, they thief money, be part of your local government and ask these questions. Be part of your county and ask these questions. Because we cannot be police people in your counties. We cannot be police people in your LGAs. We are trying to help you to make sure that your funds are not being stolen. Mark Vicky and I are even trying to get somebody. So if you have somebody who can come give us quick books, we're trying to start setting some training classes for the financial secretariats. Also trying to make sure that everybody can know how to balance or how to keep records. I think record keeping is very important here. Because if you are a chairman of the county or chairman of a local government, you're not coming to your people to let them know how their money is being spent. Why are you letting? So that's why you people heard my name being called by Momo chairman and I really could not care because I just knew he was not doing right by the money of Momo people. And I was asking those questions because I just knew he wasn't doing right. You know, in the National Treasury, one of the things I forgot to update you all, you all heard noise, oh, Dr. Sako borrowed money. So let me explain something here, guys. We don't have a lot of money that comes in. So please, so if you say you know to give small money for stabilization basket, make sure to give them. But that's the only financial source that we as a government have now. So guess what? When we have money sitting in from one source, and we need to use money for another source, we'll take it. In the past, when they call, our poor president is thinking about all the kids on the ground. Let me take it from here. When the money can, we'll replace it. So you all heard Dr. Sako borrowed money. No, that's the borrowing that they're talking about. He just took it from here to pay bills here so that we can replace. That's not happening anymore. If your county needs to borrow money from the National Treasury, you are writing a letter as the chairman of the county, and you will sign it. If say you need them for granite, your defense chief must sign.
Put it off.
Your defense chief must sign for me. That way, Vicky and I, we have it in writing that we borrowed $5,000 to Mogamo from these funds, and the chairman of Mogamo signed, some other person, Mogamo secretarial person signed. That way, when your money comes in after your draft, we are going to go into your draft and take the money because you already signed. That way, you're not going to go on TV and say, oh, Dr. Sako borrowed money. He borrowed money from where? To do what with it? So that's one of the things that we are also doing. But we are encouraging everybody, be part of your local government, be part of your county. The money it belongs to your people. If you're not helping, you're thinking that Dr. Sako is going to eat your money. Dr. Sako doesn't see a penny of your money. Your money is being spent to help your own people. So the more you are not contributing, your people are dying. You're not killing Dr. Sako because he doesn't see a dime of it. So I hope I've answered the question.
You have. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah. May I come in here with a little question just to follow up that one?
Yes.
I'm very glad, Madam Secretary of State, that you are here today. And one of the things that people have always come to me, especially people who are sitting on the fences and not participating and not coming in to play their role in this, they're always saying, "Oh, the Sako is being paid a salary." So I want to hear from you: is this thing of a salary? It's not wrong for a president to have a salary, but at least it must be written down in our laws, and we must do things according to how it's written. It's not written, but is our president on any salary? That Ambazonians are listening to you tonight.
If I had, let me just make sure you know one thing. I have worked with Dr. Sako from day one. From day one, when he took over this office, he reached out because this government, I'm going to use his own words. He said, our revolution will end if we do not act fast. And I said to him, what has that got to do with Mr.? Why are you calling me for this kind of thing? He said, we have got to find money. We have got to raise money. Dr. Samuel Sako Ikome has never been on a salary. And I wish we could have money to pay this man. Look at all the coup plotters. Look at all these people that are flying to Ghana and meeting people and taking money from Banqui and having La Republique buy them homes, and they put their families there and come and pretend with us that they are fighting for Amazonia. What do we have to give this man who has sacrificed his life, sacrificed his family for Amazonia? I really wish one day that Amazonia can pay Dr. Sako a salary. But I'm looking at every Amazonia, and those of you spreading these lies about Dr. Sako, shame on you. You heard people say, oh, Dr. Sako bought an estate. We have all the evidence. Where is it? Where is that evidence today? Because they're lying, and they know that. So no, let me make sure Amazonians, today, Dr. Sako is not a salary. And for those of you out there think, oh, Iringwa is blessed. I don't even know the checkbook of Ambazonia, how it looks like. Dr. Sako doesn't know the checkbook of Ambazonia, how it looks like. Vicky doesn't know, because that's how we have structured these things to make sure that nobody controls money. No more. I was in DC when Helen Akonje will remove Ambazonia because Bankcard and I swapped. And as a corporate woman, I said to her, are you keeping expense receipts? Because that's what I do. And she looked at me straight and said, are you paying? How do you go and submit an expense report? And that's one of the, just so you all know, if Dr. Sako travels for Ambazonia People Business, he gives in his expense report through his own controller in the presidency. So that if Ambazonia did not know today, there is a controller in the presidency that put every dime that Dr. Sako spends. He comes through us if he has to travel for business. And we'll ask you a question. He doesn't touch it. We don't give it to him. We give it to whoever is traveling with him. The man does not touch Ambazonia people. The money not even there now. If the money for them would all finish war. So why are people going crazy, calling somebody's name who is sacrificing his time for free? Wow. I told Kometa himself. Kometa said, oh, Sako has to go. Sako has to. Kometa makes more money from Ambazonia than Sako. Because he's signing affidavit. Busy signing affidavit. Does Dr. Sako sign affidavit? He doesn't. So what money are we talking about here? I wish Ambazonians would stop listening to these diabolic liars. You know, somebody actually went and told one of my homeboys, said, that woman, he buy poster for $13,000. The people say, you know, my ring and my sister, Mogamo woman write $13,000 Bible, buy poster. You don't start crazy. He said, I have the receipt. The guy said, if you know my ring, you will not say this. Because I'm a woman, you don't buy post for even $200, I can't talk $13,000. I don't start crazy. So please.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma Irene. I think we have reached a point where the ethics for an emerging nation of the former British Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, is really, really, really working. And we wish to ask that the National Treasury will continue with this stringent method, of which the La Republic, we think that these people, I mean, they will say all kinds of propaganda, but when they come right inside the thing that is supposed to be, they will see the slits very clean, very clean. I'm very thankful for the question that Dr. Titanta has asked, and what Comrade Tanshi has said and has asked. I believe that the people of Ambazonia, if they are truthful to themselves, they will now know that time is telling. Because I grew up to hear that time will tell.
Exactly.
And today, when you look into the social media and you hear what is going on, it will be very clear. You don't need any magic or any form of conjuring to know that time is telling. And what does that mean? Time will tell when you tell the truth.
Exactly.
When you say a bunch of lies, you can have a bunch of people following you, but at the end of the day, time will tell, and only the truth will stand the test of time. Now, Ma Irene, I had a question that I want to ask from you. I don't think I heard my colleagues ask that question. I overheard you mention 20,000, is it 20,000 euros or 20,000 what? I overheard that actually the treasury, the national treasury in America is saved, but the one in Europe was completely hacked and taken out. What can you tell Ambazonians who are hanging out there and they are in this kind of confusion that your ethical values did not reach out to some of the people who are actually standing for the IG in Europe?
You know, all I can say here, you know, Pastor Commando, I don't tell you to give me anointing, you deny. If you give me that anointing, plenty people don't die. Because I will just be praying, say me, oh man, just died. And now all that people pray now, warfare prayer. Pastor Commando, This is what I would have prayed for Richard Tango to really die. You know, he did not betray me. The person I feel sorry that he betrayed was Mark Victorine. Because Mark Victorine really trusted him. I got to a point I said, sis, I have my doubts. Mark Vicky is supposed to be here. I don't even know if she poor thing, she's at work. Mark Vicky worked with this man. We worked with Richard midnight. He was available to do work for Ambazonia. We were all so happy. So when the president said we needed to find means for our people in Europe to pay easily. One of the things I enjoy working with Dr. Sako is the fact that I hate to be micromanaged. I am a woman with brains. Give me my job, let me do it. I'll come to you and ask advice, and you be my coach. And that's exactly what our president is. Is it the greatest coach ever? Because you can go to him and he'll listen to your idea. By the time you leave, he has given you a solution. And that's why he did. Like, instead of us struggling with people in Europe paying PayPal, go investigate payment platforms. We did that. Did he want to put his name on it? No. Go get it done. So Richard Tango is doing it. Mark Vicky had her name on it because so that she can be recording the money. So Pastor Commando, Tango took this money. When people were so happy that they were coup plotters and they thought they had won, that's because they were going to use money they have never given a dime to. But I think Richard Tango, where he is now, he should start thinking of paying that money. We have stopped those payment platforms in Europe. Ambazonians, be very happy to know today that we have created all new financial institutions. We are going to be launching AID, which is going to be our replacing the CID, because they're still trying to take money from my bank account. So for that reason, we have designed a website like none, just like we did ABC, that they can never hack into. Because do you guys not think they've been trying to hack into ABC? They've tried, but they cannot. Because when you deal with a thief, before we were doing things at the basic level, now we are progressing. As the struggle progresses, I will start getting ready to go home. We're starting to bring some sophistication in there and start bringing all of us experts from different fields, what we learn from our different jobs, and bring it in a way that the thing, if you as a company, we treat Ambazonia now as a business too. When you don't sit down to do a SWOT analysis in your business, that's one of the things that we are going to be doing. We might actually invite Ethics to come join us, because we want to sit down and say, what have we learned from 2022? What are some of the hardcore lessons that we learned? What are some of the things that we have changed? What are some of the things that we need to progress on? For example, we are working on a form for every member of government like me to declare any gift that you get from Ambazonia people, to make sure that you do not get to a point where you will start using your position for corruption. Because that's one of the things that La Republique did. If we learned something from that system, I was not born then, but our people in the West Cameroon government said they did not have bribery and corruption. Unfortunately, I worked in Yaoundé where I saw a lot of it. I grew up in Yaoundé, saw a lot of it in my face. But that's one of the things that we are coming up with. We will share that from once we have it, and we will want every department head to have it. At the end of the month, we want to please declare for us Ambazonians. What are you getting? It's nothing wrong for your people to give you something. What are those authorized things? For me, I want to be able to make sure when I travel for business for American Airlines, I'm not allowed to expense alcohol. So when you travel for business for Ambazonia, you will not be expensing alcohol. What are some of those things that we have learned from our jobs that we can bring it to incorporate and help Ambazonia so that we do not become a nation of drunkards like Republic du Cameroon? How much is your meal a day? You know, there are different settings for different people. We do not expect the president to go out and entertain people for $300 and a small me can also go out and entertain people for $300. No. Those have to be checks and balances. And when you bring those type of reports to us, we'll question you. We will question you. So you really don't have to like us, but you will like the work we do for Ambazonia. Thank you.
Adi. Okay, sorry. I was talking to the technician, and because we were a little bit out of the studio, but we could hear everything that you are saying. I think that the Department of National Treasury is doing an excellent job and has come in here to tell us that the peculiarity of our struggle, which is because we have instituted the ethics department during the time of war, is actually working. And those who are thieves and those who don't want to actually make it in Boya, trying to import La Republique in the face of this our struggle, I think this institution of the Ethics Commission in this particular period is a call for concern, and it is a kind of an eye-opening to those who are recalcitrant and think that they can do and go away as La Republique is doing. Now, my ring, I think I saw somebody like the SOS for the National Treasury, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, anyway, but before I cross over to her, let me ask you this question. What is the National Treasury doing to make sure that even though these people who are local chairmen, who are county coordinators, what is the National Treasury doing to make sure that if these people do anything funny with our money, they will not go away like Tabenyang, and they will not go away like the other cream of people who have just left now, and they are rejoicing. Some of them have stage played, running away from the interim government because they know that if they stay inside, the wrath of the interim government will catch up with them to pay back the money they have taken. And for that reason, they purportedly say, I'm no more with the interim government. And those of them who have gone, they are still abiding by every structure of the interim government. And they have not created their own structures. So at this juncture, what is the National Treasury putting forth as a means to get these people pay back the money? And the ones that are inside here now, they should not attempt that kind of a mistake in this interim government.
You know, Pastor Commando, that's why you saw some people thought that they would not go to court. They thought they can hire some lawyer to come and file a motion that, oh, I'm out of jurisdiction, and go away. No. Ambazonia Foundation is a 501c3 registered organization. When you steal from a 501c3, you go in for it. Those people have not gotten away with anything. I just want to make sure you know that. We have them in court. Some of them, they were supposed to appear in court. When we sued them, they did not see this coming. They thought it was business as usual, no more. I can trust you, Ambazonia people, it will never be business as usual. The Frida Ashu will be brought to justice for trying to steal $75,000. She did not steal it. They've created a lot of things that for court purposes we're not going to discuss here. So now they were in court. We live where we are not in a lawless La Republique du Cameroon country. We are not. You might live you might say, I'm not part of the interim government. Chris Anu, your name was on the court list. Blessed Chair, John Ngiawan, you can run away from the United States. You will come in here and you will go to court because you stole money that belonged to people that were dying. We do not sit here every day raising money for them to go steal. That's why some people did not like some people like us. When you wanted to go to Nigeria, oh, Mavic is here. Sis, you are here. I'm so excited. Maviki, welcome. Can't hear you.
There she goes. Right.
Sis?
Check your microphone.
Okay, I don't.
Good.
Hello,
good.
sis. Hello, everybody.
Sis, welcome. I'm so happy. I miss you.
I come on work, my phone not connects. I get to get home first. So
sorry,
I'm so
sis.
sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm glad to be here, though. Thank you.
Sis, they just asked us a question. How are we going to bring these people? But I was just telling them that they have not gotten away with anything yet. So let me take a drink of water and let Maviki speak, because Maviki is loaded.
Yes. I was listening to that question and I was boiling inside.
I knew you would.
I'm so happy to be here. I want to thank you, the Ethics Commission, Pastor Commando, and the other panelists or the other people we have here to I want to appreciate you for having us. I think it's past due time we came here and educated the Ambazonian people. My name is Vicky Victorine Yanni. I'm the chair person of the Ambazonia Foundation. Okay, so the National Treasury Board, I'm the chair. So yes, Ambazonia Foundation is and Southern Cameroon Foundation, they are 501c, meaning they're registered, legally registered in the United States. And when you steal from a foundation, it's like you are stealing from a business and you can be taken to court, which is exactly what we have done. So all the Johnny Giawans and the Blaise Che and the Frida Ashu that went to the bank like little rats and took money, they didn't come to my house and take my money. They didn't go in my account and take my money. They went to the Ambazonia Foundation and took money. So we are suing them. And their day is coming. So I want everybody to be patient. We don't come out and say too much, but we are busy working. They're not going to get away with it. Thank you very much.
So do you trust these two ladies sitting on top of your money?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Let me add something there. Ma Irene, I heard you say that it's not business as usual. You know, these guys, I don't even want to go back because we already know. They have taken money, lots and lots of money, and they've gotten away with it. The Tabenyans and the rest, and the Helen Akonjism and the rest. I think these guys now thought the same thing will happen. Like they'll just take this money and go and nothing will happen. But we have new sheriffs in town. Yes, and something is happening. So Ambazonia, if you're thinking of stealing somebody's money, think again. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Madame Victorine, for coming. It's our pleasure to have you to fulfill your ethical duties of your department as we are dealing with this emerging nation of ours, and being very different because of its culture, of its ethical setup during the time of war. We have somebody here who has a question to ask the National Treasury. Let's go over to the person. Hello, sir. Oh, sorry, one moment. All right, we are having it a little bit difficult for him to connect. When he comes back, I'll get back to you. All right, the panelists that are sitting down here, I don't know if you have any question to ask, because this is the day we have to, but don't go into the classified stories, because they will not talk, and I would like them not to talk. If anybody has anything that's classified, which is not to be disclosed here, it should not be disclosed. All right, let me see. The caller is still on the line. Okay, hello, caller. You are on to ABC. Yeah, can you go ahead? What do you have to tell us?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? throw salute for all man. Now me you and I dey talk. You know, say I like for go now for country talk. I'll be happy for the ethics committee today and the national treasury people that were a day for day. And my own question I want to ask, and I say, issue certificate them for people the way they pay their drafts. And if the national treasury it keep track for all the certificates them where they issue them, and how did they make sure say they safeguard say in future people that not going to come with fake certificates can't talk say they be paid draft and whatsoever. Because some people that they complain say they be paid their draft maybe my triple boya 2020, 2021 and they never get them certificates. So if I say me the national treasury they try to update people so that if person pay a draft they get for issue a certificate for you so that one will be my own legacy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, UN. Thank you so much, UN, for supporting as usual. I would like to talk for Pidgin now, but it will not be so nice. So let me just talk for English. So, Comrade UN, thank you so much for that question. Just so you know, Nijo and I took this draft project that was assigned to us very seriously. When we started issuing certificates, when we started trying to do the certificates, we did the first set of certificates. Then the president said he wanted the certificate laminated. He wanted the certificates in a form that nobody can go and duplicate those codes. So that's why we really, really want to, first of all, take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been drafting. Encourage people to continue to draft. If your certificate does not come, it's not us. It's your chairperson of your county or the chairperson of your local government. Because when they give us a list of everyone that has paid in their full draft, we print the certificate and we send it back to the secretariat of your local government. I will say this here, and I will say it unequivocally. Nijo and I had the people that we had trouble printing their certificates, and I will apologize, is the people of Meme County. 2020, we could not issue a certificate for Meme County because we never had a certified list to make sure that the funds were paid, because we had one person who was trying to do everything. So don't just think we issue certificates. No. When we get the list of certificates, that's why it is very, very important. Like Vicky would tell you, and I'm going to let her talk through that. When you send money to the National Treasury, you have to label it. So when you send your money and through the National Treasury, we make sure it is credited to your local government. And at the end of the day, nobody's going to print this certificate, because we're not going to tell you the secret in how these certificates are printed. We're not going to, but you'll be happy to know is one person that works on this whole project of issuing certificate and does many other things. So we appreciate you, the IT department. So as we go on, Comrade UN, we are going to continue laminating, continue making sure that when the monies come, so if you don't get the local government, I know for 2020, your chief coup plotter never sent us your list. Donga and Mentum, am I calling it right? We did not issue a certificate because your chairperson did not send the list. But with Chairman Roy coming on board, we have been able to issue those certificates. So if the certificates are not issued, it's because we did not get a list of the people that drafted. Hopefully I've answered your question, Comrade UN.
Thank you very much, my Irene. Yeah, panelists, over to you. Have more questions before I go into our concluding questions for the National Treasury?
Yes, I just have the usual questions that we'll ask our guests, which is, yeah, you're doing a fantastic job in the Department of Treasury, but as you know, the ethics committee has been busy putting down some documents, some things that Ambazonian will have to get themselves familiarized with. So I just want to know whether the Department of Treasury has it got an ethics unit, ethics department that handles conflicts, that handle issues, ethical issues, and is it aware of the different forms that are available for conflict resolution? Or do you have plans to make sure those things are available?
Maviki.
Because it's good to do these things, but it's good to do them by the book, by the rules that are laid down.
Which is true. Remember that the National Treasury is made up of members that come from their counties, county representatives. So besides our SOS, CMA, Irene, and some permanent people that work for the National Treasury, we all come from local governments. And our local government is where we have our ethics. That's where we are grounded with our ethics. So I'm not sure if we need to have another ethics committee in our National Treasury. Since maybe this is something that we can talk about. But I do know that all our LGS and counties are set up with an ethics representative and who can help us with conflict resolutions. Thank you. And the beauty is that we work very well together in the National Treasury. My Irene here knows our meetings are beautiful. They last for 1 hour. We've never had issues. So I guess the issue about ethics has never come up because we've never had any conflict to resolve.
Sorry. Hello?
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I said this is more of a remark, Ma Victorine. During the course of a presentation, my Irene mentioned that they had quite some number of things, guidelines regarding gifts, expenditure while there, which are along the lines in which the ethics have in the past programs we've been emphasizing, and we have these documents. So I think it's as a remark, it's just that when we produce our own document, which is really in line with what you were saying, we should really cross notes, check notes, and let them be all aligned. Or put it this way, when we produce the final document regarding declaring assets, expenditure, gifts, and how you must declare them and what you do with them, all that we should really cross-check to see that there is some uniformity in applying them across, not only because these things are not only to the treasury, but across all departments and counties. That was just a remark and maybe also a compliment to what you are already doing, really.
Thank you very much, Comrade Tanshin. Thank you very much, Comrade Tanshin. We have a caller online with a question to the National Treasury. Hello. Yeah, on NBC on the go ahead. This is National Treasury on ethics for a developing National Treasury for a developing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Pastor Commando. I will go like UN, so that if people that really listen, at least they understand what you will be asked. I want to continue with a question where UN asked them, and I want to go my own the other way. Now, very few people then we draft for various counties, and all of them live for diaspora. What is the interim government they do for make sure say everybody will live for diaspora go down carry any activity we pay the own draft for a county. And if person dey for different county, then he go drop, let's say he dey live for Bamenda, they go na Obuya, how they go do get me pay on draft for make sure say niche enter Amazonia wey contribute for this struggle. Na the question wey I dey ask am, because some people they refuse say they go do their activities, they no go talk say they no go hold them because say they don't know whether they draft or not.
Okay. I think say that question, I was expecting that by now the interim house for don't send out their first bill. I was really looking forward to having the first bill from the interim house of representatives outlining some of these things, right? Yes, we encouraging that everybody goes to their LGAs, reach out to people in your community. But I was hoping that the interim house of representatives by now should have issued the bill. Where is that bill? I think that you're asking the question, a great question, to the wrong people. I think this question you're asking should be for the lawmakers of Ambazonia. What are the laws are you putting in place? I hopefully, sis, do I think this question is for us or for the interim house, sis?
Yeah.
Why? Because we are all Ambazonians, right? And we know people around us that don't pay $1. So yes, it's for Pastor Commando, it's for Comrade Tansi, and my comrade here, I didn't catch your name yet, but I'm sorry.
Dr. Chitanta.
Dr. Chitanta.
Yeah, no, you.
Honorable.
Honorable Chitanta.
Honorable, that's for you guys.
I was coming to you then.
Yes.
But I want to say
the question was directed to me, actually, so I think I can. Yes.
But
so it's actually right now the interim house is very busy with just with the other issues, but that's something that I will be raising up. It should be something taken up urgently to think about drafting a law in line with that. I think.
Let me say something about that, please. When you finish drafting the law, let me know, because I'll be the first to take it around these meeting houses and churches and talk to people about it with some confidence that when they get to our border, they'll be stopped.
Oh my goodness.
And they'll pay. Even including some of my family members too that think that I'm crazy running around some country called Ambazonia.
Yes. It's in a dream.
So we're waiting for that law.
We're waiting for that law. Please, I think that should have been the first law. I come from Mogamo local government. Our interim house has actually passed its first bill, which I will not talk about it because I'm not the chairman. So we were hoping that by now, the interim house of Ambazonia should have passed this bill. Please don't wait anymore, because people are dying and a few people are contributing. So I'm challenging you, honorables. That should be a very important piece of bill. And I'm also begging you that before you had somebody in your ethics department here who has become the biggest coup plotter, one of the things that we chased her a lot was, you are part of ethics, you are not drafting. And that was Margaret Rikisop. I hope where she is now, she's at least paying something, because she was part of your. So are you guys making sure that everybody you bring into the ethics department is also drafting and paying their money to their counties? We did ask that question because we like money.
One thing I want to add about that is that we are that bill will concern us, because when more people come to help us in this struggle and pay more money, the National Treasury will have more money to help our people on the home front. So
3 a.m. we were texting, 3 o'clock this morning. See, this is how much we have. We have this to pay. We have this to pay. What do we do? 3 a.m. we were on the phone. We can show you our phone. We're on the phone. Like, sis, what do we pay? What do we not pay?
Yeah. So we need
and
everybody to come.
Everybody to pay their bills. Everybody pay. I don't care whether Mama will come out grave today. If you know the draft for Ambazonia, there's nothing we really can talk together.
In fact, I've been waiting for that bill for a long time. So
the bill don't overstay. We need that bill like yesterday morning.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think the National Treasury, which I call the brainchild of the interim government, because without this institution, I think that everything will come to a standstill. And having this particular institution and department in our government, the more reason why we will need to protect it very well. And any other organ, I know that if I call the National Treasury the pivot of the interim government, I might not be wrong. And so that question, which of course the SOS for the Treasury has actually answered, that the question is asked for everybody, I would think that the House of Reps should precipitate, and then the logistics should come from the DHA as they get into the different counties and different LGAs, putting them together. And when we know who these recalcitrant fellows are, we'll know where to catch them. There are some of them who are still sneaking around and still trying to get into Ambazonia. We have heard some people who were not crowned, but they picked the crown and put on their heads, and they proclaim themselves, saying that Ambazonia is abstract, and that our struggle is abstract, the country is abstract, everything about it is abstract, but they want to get into an abstract country. Well, we are here to let Ambazonians know that the ethics department is doing its possible best, working hands in gloves with the other different departments and institutions of the interim government to make sure that we get back home fully prepared. I've heard some people carelessly say that people are dying, and then you come here to talk about National Treasury, you come here to talk about Home Affairs, you come here to talk about this and that. Well, the interim government is focused, and as it is focusing, time is telling. And very soon, when the time has told the story, then we will know who was doing what. So I want to encourage the National Treasury to continue to sit up and let your eyes be open. The organigram of the National Treasury is very standard to me. When I heard it, it's very standard, and that each county is fully represented in the National Treasury by now. You will have all the 13 counties having their treasurers in the National Treasury yet?
No, sis. Sis Tokana.
We are missing 3. But we've officially written to them. Remember, the National Treasury is an area where you really have to vet people, right? So some counties have people that they're vetted, but they're in other important positions, strategic positions. So I think they're having difficulties getting that person that can truly represent them in the National Treasury. So we are patient. We are patiently waiting.
Yes.
And I don't want to embarrass anybody here, but the counties,
so we're not going to talk,
because they've been served the official letters that were waiting for their representative. And but the ones that are there, they're fully representing the people of Ambazonia. I'll tell you that. Ma Irene here, Secretary of State of the National Treasury, we are so happy to have her. She has come in with, she's always been there. Let me not say she's coming, but she's really working very hard. We work hand in gloves, by the way, to make things work for Ambazonia. And while I'm talking, let me just add this. One of the reasons why we're running away from La Republique is because of bad governance. And if we're going to have our own country, I think this show, the Ethics Committee, is one of the most, the ethics of an emerging nation is one of the most important shows on this ABC Amber television. The reason is we have to retrain our people. We have to let our people see how things are done in other countries that run well, like the United States where we are. So if we don't tell them, if we don't give them all this information, how else are they going to know that the president cannot just go to a bank and pull whatever money he wants out of there and nothing happens? So we have to come here and let the Ambazonia people know, especially the ones on the home front.
Yeah.
And some of us in the diaspora with bad behaviors.
Yes.
So thank you.
And just to add what Maviki says, when the president signs the recruitment, he sent it to me, I sent it to Ma Victorine. She asked her questions. Just because it came from the president, it doesn't just get paid. She said, if either she reaches him directly, or if she says, I've tried to reach the president, or we question, so why is this? Why are you giving this to this county? Why is this? So we just want people to know, because in La Republique, if you question your president, they will just fire you now. After all, they bring you for it, they will just move you with one finger. But in Ambazonia, we are so lucky that we have a leader that we say, Mr. President, so can you please help us explain this more? We had a county that really, really, really needed money for something. And he signed it and he sent it to us to say, you know what, they need it. We don't have time, because the kids really need this. It's all about the children and our ARS for him. So when I reach out to Maviki says, no, we need to change something here. We need to change this here. And just so you all know, if the requisition is not written directly right, we are denying it. And we send it back until you have it right. Because Ambazonia people, it is your money. You have a right to question us. The audit committee has a right to come every time and say, I want your books. And we say, here, these are the books. And we move aside because we have nothing to hide. So for those people that say, oh, Dr. Sako is being paid a salary, I wish to God they can show us the salary slip. Of course, not enough people pass it now. If the field manufacturer say the man get company now, the field manufacturer payment slips too. But I would love to challenge one of them to come and show us what bank statement they saw. So please, Ambazonians, we are building a nation that is different from La Republique. I will tell you this story. I work in La Republique government, a job that, number one, I didn't deserve it. I just was there because they put me there. And I picked up car keys. They brought cars from the port. And I picked up car keys, and when I handed it to one of my people that I thought it deserved a car, just like that. Ambazonia will never be a country like that. That somebody can cars can just come and you take car keys and the car is missing. Just lost like that. What kind of a country is that? A country that people do whatever they want with government money. People keep money in their offices. And I still think our brothers and sisters that are on the fence, is that how you want to live? You're living in this country that even your $1, the bank will call you, say, can't take them. Is that why can't you join us? Let's build this Ambazonia, the beautiful country that we have, so that we can all go home.
Okay.
Thank you all for this show. This show is very important, and we are so honored that you all invited us here today.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you so very much. The questions that we normally use to run up this particular program, because it's actually meant for education, and you all know that nothing can go without some people coming in with some evil criticism, because it's not going in their favor. And the precept of godly leadership and moral leadership is fast facing away upon the earth today. Our neighbors have reversed the whole thing. If you are not an outright hardened criminal, you can't get the post of a minister or whatever. And we see going around the social media, I don't know, I've not confirmed it, but it's going around the social media that the budget of La Republique of Cameroon has been stolen by a few people from the same tribe, up to the tune of 2 years of their budget. and there is no smoke without fire. So we want to tell the Ambazonians that the stringent method that the National Treasury is exerting now, and nobody is above the law of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, everybody is subject to that law. We want to declare and tell the people of Ambazonia, this is what we inherited from Dr. Endele, Dr. Jongu Foncha, and Pa Augustine Gumjua. It is their government that we inherited. And to some of us who are inside here, we had a little taste of the tip of the iceberg of their governments when they were almost coming to an end. So we had that little taste of it. And when we are talking here, people who were born yesterday, and some people who worked in La Republique, like Ma Irene, who worked in La Republique and could disappear with the car keys, and we don't want it to be transferred into Ambazonia. And I'm so glad that we have these different kinds of testimonies coming in. Somebody who has lived in a situation that was so loose that can become part and parcel of you, you refused for it to take over your life. You know, I tell people that erosion does not make an announcement, but after a few years, the kind of culvert that it will create, you'll be surprised, because it did not come like a boomerang, boom, and then the culvert came out. No, just gradually. And so we have begun to teach our people the virtues that we had before La Republic came in to invade us, like was read in our monologue. So we are continuing with that, and we are going from department to department now. I am very sure that when these departments have all been propped and they speak the way you speak in your department, we would have actually laid a foundation, and now you become teachers in your areas. The last word of advice.
Let me say something real quick. Nijo just corrected me. Kombe, thank you. Nijo is watching. Nijo said I did not completely answer UN's question. Yes, Comrade UN, my sincere apologies. We do have all the statistics of whoever has paid a dime in draft from day one. Nijo has all the spreadsheets. They are well kept. So this is our moral ethics that we live in our department. You have not grown. You are not grown until you know how to communicate, apologize, be truthful, and accept accountability without blaming someone else.
That is powerful.
That is how we live in our department.
That is powerful. I mean, a department that is in this stage and in this standard, what else do you need to look out for in a country like the Federal Republic of Ambazonia? Honesty was embedded in our DNA. And even though corruption came by, a number of people have refused to be corrupted. We are having the last program for tonight in Ambazonia, and I know there are some people who are still awake, watching and waiting to see the end of this program. Before we conclude, I want to ask Ma Victorine and Ma Irene, there was a table you sent in to the Ethics Commission that you want to talk about it. I don't know if you have already talked about the table and you want it to be put up there, or everything is okay, so that we should not make a mistake of just closing our guests without them exhausting what they came to tell the Ambazonian people. Over to you.
Sis, thank you, sis. We sent you the table. We wanted to put it up so that Ambazonians can see that these people are in court, because some of them are lying and they are denying that they're not in court. We want you all to show, so let them see. Ambazonians can at least see. If you're on home front, you know, say for America, for the white man, where you know if you do something good, thief money like Maviki Tokam, You thief na Ambazonia people their money. You not thief from me, you not thief from Maviki. You actually thief from Ambazonia them. So now why we send them for you, Pastor Commando? So if you display them, they see their name the day today because
we'll ask our technician to put the table on, and if you can enlarge it,
yes,
that will be fine. So the table is on.
The name of the court for corner. They now the court.
Me they look now court this now they court this no. Now the day they will go court that now. Una see na ingia wani own name that. Una see na Christopher Anu name that.
Yeah.
As na you go una go to see the name for all the way they did for court. So one just tell una say they did it all the day for court. Would you answer now they court this? They don't try for you.
They know they court.
They not try to know they court.
They know my name. They not their names. Now
their name and this. When I don't see my name, I don't see my Victory name. Now they code it. When I go for Google, when I go Google and when I see another this. Now court room number 6 for third floor. They be there. So they could deny and I say, oh, they did talk lie. Now then this. So now wait till we just want to say, me everybody take a look. Frida Ashley on the day. Bless Jay on the day.
All them.
All they needed that one they call him Richard Fayengo. We don't change the name. Say he call us Tango in a Fayengo. Now they marry a brother. Now he kill picking them. He be the TV monitor them for a brother. Me go kill picking them. In the end of the day, all them did it. So they not nobody know.
By the way, Moon, I know say court business now open business. That's why they display the thing right for hall for court. This screen where you see and say the airport. You did look for screen for see when you are flying.
For see which your court room they also you to go for court.
Right.
So we need it. Yeah. So when we tell them I say it's no longer business as usual. We mean everything we will talk about.
So now open business. Brother and my sister they will now watch. Now take when I chop Christmas.
So when you tip Ambazonia for that money, you will appear for this kind of courtroom.
I asked this actually because somebody called me from home front and was very mad and was saying that the interim government is reporting theft by some of the people who were with the interim government. Why are you people keeping quiet and still keeping them in the government? He's quite an Ambazonia and an elderly pa, and I told him with assurance that the never again generation of Ambazonians in this 21st century have decided that the recycled game of La Republique is not going to work on us again. And that if there is anything that has been declassified, it's going to be made public. Yes. I am glad he is actually watching right now and has seen the name of the person that he actually was questioning me about. But if you are still awake and you are watching, as I told you that you are going to see it by yourself, if you see the second name from the bottom, is that, I don't want to call him your friend, is that person that you were questioning me about. So he has appeared in the court, and the court is not the kangaroo court of Banana Republic of La Republique. So it's in America, and justice will be taken. Especially as Ma Victorine explained, that when you steal money from an 50C1, which is like an NGO, you have stolen the money of the people. An American government does not take you, it doesn't take you for play. They don't take it lying down. No, you pay for it, and you must pay for it. So all the Ambazonians who thought that they were going to behave in the days of Tabenyang and then make a propaganda in the days of MTT and make propaganda that they were going to go scot-free, but they never knew that they will be caught in the web. I'm very sure that with these Ambazonians, an example will be set on them, and the rest who are still meddling and peddling with our revolution, money that is given to support the destitute, they take it and feed on it. They should know that 99 days have passed for the thief. Amen. And the one day for the master has come. and they will cough it out. With that note, I want every one of you to take 2 minutes and say your last closing words so that we can allow the Ambazonian people at home to sleep. All right, Mavic, you were talking. Go ahead.
Please, I want... I'm so sorry. I want the people of Ambazonia to know that the days of Tavenyang is over, and that anybody who touches 1 penny of money that is supposed to go to refugees, money that is supposed to take care of our people that are dying in dungeons, they will go down. I also want Ambazonians to know that I want them to see those names. Those are the names of the same people we call them now coup plotters. Now you guys understand why they were running off. Because we caught them stealing. And so instead of them waiting for their day in court, they go and start fabricating stories that Dr. Sako is stealing money. You didn't see Dr. Sako's name on that list, did you?
No, of course not.
So now the whole of Amazonia know who the thieves are. So
right.
Go and support the thieves at your own risk. You saw that circuit court, right? It's right there. That's evidence number 1. We're coming with more. Stay tuned.
Yes.
I also want to, my sister here has said that we are going to roll out a program called AID. So Ambazonia should stay tuned. That's money that is going to go to help your refugees, our IDPs, our wounded, and it's not strange to support the revolution, my people. The Eritreans did the same. So our honorable here, please, we're waiting for that bill so that the whole of Ambazonia can support this liberation struggle. This United States where I am, somebody fought and died and shed some blood, and others shed blood to free this home, to free this country where we are all enjoying. So I think it is just the right thing to do, to help our people to enjoy this same freedom that we're enjoying here. It's unfair to sit in your houses, drink your beer, shop for $1,000 purses, party every day, and your people are dying in the bushes. They're using grass as paths. They're in Nigeria dying on the streets. And you say it's that your thing. No, it's not my thing. It's our thing. I need everybody out there to step it up, stop chasing these thieves, and come home and join us to fight this fight. Those of us in the National Treasury, we are watching every dollar. We're making sure that not even a penny comes out unaccounted for. So come and contribute your money and be assured that it will go to do what it needs to do, which is taking care of our suffering and dying people. My people, self-defense is a human right. If somebody comes to my door and knocks it down, I have the right to pick up whatever it takes to defend myself. That's exactly what the Ambazonian people are doing. Don't be afraid. We see other countries doing the same. It's not any different with Ambazonia. Everybody in Ambazonia has the right to live freely and enjoy whatever is being enjoyed in Europe, in Asia, in America, and everywhere else. There is no reason why Ambazonians are poor, go to school and come out with no jobs. There is no reason. We are going to liberate our country and we are going to fix it. Give us 5 years. That country will be another Dubai. So please, everybody, come on board. We need everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maviki.
You know,
okay.
I just want to start by looking at all of you. Most of you Ambazonians are in the United States. You applied for political asylum. You wrote stories in the diaspora. You flee from your country because of persecution and war. You took pictures of our people that are dying on the ground, and you got your papers in the United States or in Europe or wherever you are. And then you are one of those people who call it that one thing. You know, I have something to tell you for a second. Some of you, you are lucky because you are here. You can feed your mothers. You can take care of your sisters. You can take care of your brothers. But when we were growing up as children, we ate in every mother's house. We ate in every father's house. I remember one papa in Guzan, he would beat you until he take you to the classroom. He didn't even know whose child you were. That's how we were raised as children. If you do not come to support this fight for independence, you are not hurting Dr. Sako. You are not hurting Ma Iringwa. You're not hurting Ma Victorine. You are hurting the very community that raised you. You are hurting the very people that brought you up. You are hurting the very mothers that have lost all of their children and they have no. You are hurting those youths that have no hope because some of them have come out of the universities and they have no job. The money that you pay here is going to your own communities. It's going to take care of your people in your quarter, the same people that you grew up with, and that some of them did not have your luck. You're not here because you are better off than somebody. No, that's not why you're here. You are here because God made you to be here. And the Bible says, unto whom more is given, more is required. Just because you are not sleeping next to a snake in the forest, it's enough for you to say, God, thank you for blessing me, and let me bless somebody else. Ambazonia will be free, whether people like it or not. For those of you who joined the Coup Plotter group by hearsay, hopefully you have heard us. Hopefully we have answered your questions. Hopefully you know that all of these character assassinations, now they say Dr. Sako was the devil. Now the same person is saying that don't put money here because he's the devil. No, devils never know that they are devils because their demons don't let them look at them. Their demons are so busy trying not to see that they are demons. So they are telling everybody else, you are a devil, you are a devil. But they are the devils themselves. If you went into coup plotting by mistake, come back. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Come and support your people. Come back to your communities. Be involved. Don't sit back and say, oh, down that thing. America does not belong to us. It doesn't matter how long I stay in this white man country. My joy would have been to feed some mommy who needed me at home. So let's put our hands together, work hard, and go home to some place you can actually pass and you are not judged by the color of your skin. Yes, we are very blessed, but it's not about us. It's about those that are suffering and dying at home. Thank you all so much for watching us. Thank you for being here. And we are also trying to remind you all tomorrow, we are drafting Kupe Manunguba. Please, please come out strongly and support Kupe Manunguba tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Titanta, I hear the way you are smiling. Yes. Go ahead and give us your closing remarks. I'm sure this has excited and put the Ethics Commission on an echelon of very high price. All right, go ahead.
Yes. Listening to our two Iron Ladies, our two Mars talk really is inspiring. Fellow Ambazonians, there was somebody in heaven called Lucifer. He had a majestic voice. He was called the son of the son of the morning. He was somebody who was highly elevated in the heavenly realm. My Bible tells me that evil entered him. And he thought in his heart, I will rise up above the stars of God. This is exactly what has happened to our revolution. Somebody whose voice used to cause Ambazonia to shake. Evil entered him. And he took with him a third of the angels of heaven. This one took with him a third of the government of Ambazonia with him. Some followed him ignorantly. My fellow Ambazonia, if you followed because of ignorance, as Ma'arin has said, come back home. Don't be ashamed to come back home. And I want to add here that everything that has happened to the Ambazonian revolution, it needed to happen. For the Bible says God loves Ambazonia. And all things work together for the good of the people whom God loves. Whether it was the downfall of Sisiku, whether it was the embezzlement of Tabenyang, whether it was the coup platters coming in, it had to happen this way because the bad seed had to be uprooted. Fellow Ambazonians, imagine these people had their ways right until we find ourselves in Buea with all our monies in their hands. What a chaos Ambazonia will be. What a chaos they would have rocked in a country with all these monies that they would have gathered along. Thank God that we have a national treasury that God has put visionary leaders to help us pave the way and get these things back so that they will not use it against us in the future. God bless Ambazonia. God bless our national treasury. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those poetic closing remarks. Yeah, Comrade Tangshi, over to you, sir. Your closing remarks.
Wow, how can I match these our two Ma ladies? We need you people here every week. Unfortunately, this is not your department, but you people have shown what it takes to be as comrade to run a department, especially the Treasury Department. A prosperous and happy country is one in which opportunities are given to its citizens to be able to get jobs, to be able to invest, to be able to be entrepreneurs. And at the center of that, the treasury and taxations are at the center. Our two Iron Ladies have shown that they are up to and more than leading the way to provide that treasury for this to happen. As we've seen, ethics is a top-bottom thing. That is, those at the top they show the example, and that trickles to those at the bottom. Our two ladies have shown that they at the top of the treasury are doing exactly that. The past has been the past. They are taking care of that. All those, as Comrade Titanta has said, the bad seat has been taken out. So the remaining ones are the two ladies. They've shown how they are at the top, showing the example. Definitely, those of us at the bottom would copy, and everything will be okay when we get to Buea. I cannot just thank you people. I cannot thank you people enough for attending today. One of the best we've had. To all televiewers, our Ambazonians, see the Ambazonia we are about to build. It's the reality that will come in the near future. Thank you for listening today. Those were my own remarks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade Peter Tangshi. It was a wonderful program. I don't like to call this program a show. It was a wonderful program. Not only a teaching program, but an educating program. Educating who? Not only theory, but practical educating program for Ambazonians to know that thieves will not come after stealing our money and sit here and articulate very well in grammar and say we have deceived the people. No, these are not the people. The way they talk with passion, you can read from their voices. If you are, blind, if you are dumb, you can see on their faces that these people talking, they know what they are talking about. And even though, please, ladies, don't mind me, they were not born in the day that former British Southern Cameroons with the honesty and sincerity that was in them, but they can still talk because the DNA of the people that went ahead of them is working with them. They refuse to be corrupted. They refuse to get into La Republique and copy the ways of La Republique. And that is exactly what we in Ambazonia, we are talking about. And so, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is Kope Maninguba, and don't fail, don't miss it. And tomorrow also, a lot of people have been calling me and say, what is going on with our defense briefing? Tomorrow is going to be a defense briefing also, just before the draft step in. So get ready and don't only enjoy the programs, but make sure that you become part and parcel of the program to build Ambazonia to the taste of what it was in this modern society, improved. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, our guest. Thank you very much, our panelists and the televiewers all over the world. We are very, very proud. That's why we had to talk some things in our country talk, especially those who ask questions, because we are not a proud people, not a haunted people. No, we are just proud because of who we are, where we come from. If you are looking for honest people in the world, please just call Ambazonia, and then you'll be able to get some. And don't forget, there are also very fake people in Ambazonia. So some of them make the loudest noise and accuse the unaccused because they are guilty and they want to cover up. So watch out. When you want to do that kind of thing, call your interim government. And so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to Ethics for an Emerging Nation. And we look forward to seeing you again on this platform to thrill us the way you have done tonight. And we are saying we are extremely very proud of you and your department. God bless you and have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night. Good night,
Good night.
everyone. Good night. Ooh. You see me? You are just sitting down there. I was still very busy, just going and going and going and going and going. What do we bring up now? It's complicated.